that influenced his decision to become a public figure. One was his visit to the White House to meet President Kennedy. The other was listening to King's 1963 "I Have a Dream" speech, which impressed Clinton so much that he later memorized it. Clinton said, "Sometime in my 16th year, I decided I wanted to be in public life as an elected official. I loved music, and I thought I could be very good, but I knew I would never be John Coltrane or Stan Getz. I was interested in medicine and thought I could be a fine doctor, but I knew I would never be Michael DeBakey. But I knew I could be great in public service." I put all these stars around Clinton because I like him. I visited his boyhood home too. Bill Clinton had faith in himself, and therefore faith in the God within him. He was positively radiant during his presidency. A natural leader, Clinton radiated creative energy. In a job he loved and performed exceptionally well. Clinton was tolerant, adaptable, and natural. As president, he presided over the longest period of peacetime economic expansion in American history. He signed into law the North American Free Trade Agreement. He implemented "Don't Ask, Don't Tell," a controversial intermediate step to full gay military integration. Now, fire devastated Windsor Castle within weeks after Clinton's election. British royalties have lived in Windsor Castle since the era of Norman conquest of native people of England by William the Conqueror in 1066. They have been supported by the British people for over 900 years. In 1994, Falwell promoted and distributed the video documentary, The Clinton Chronicles, an investigation into the alleged criminal activities of Bill Clinton. Funding for the film was provided by Citizens for Honest Government, to which Jerry Falwell paid $200,000 in 1994 and 1995. The video attempted to connect Bill Clinton to a murder conspiracy and a cocaine smuggling operation. The theory was discredited, but sold more than 150,000 copies. Now, Republicans won control of Congress in 1994, but Slick Willie worked his way through them. He became the first Democrat to win a second full term since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Clinton successfully passed welfare reform and the state children's health insurance program, providing health coverage for millions of children. Later, he was impeached for perjury and obstruction of justice in a scandal involving a White House intern, but was acquitted by the U.S. Senate and served his complete term of office. Clinton left office with the highest end-of-office approval rating of any U.S. president since World War II. The Congressional Budget Office reported a budget surplus between the years 1998 and 2000, the last 3 years of Clinton's presidency. Now, George W. Bush is the son of George H.W. Bush. Prior to his marriage, Bush had multiple episodes of alcohol abuse. In one instance, on September 4, 1976, the 30-year-old Bush was arrested near his family's summer home in Maine for driving under the influence of alcohol. He pleaded guilty, was fined $150, and his driver's license for the state of Maine was suspended until 1978. Now, Bush had licenses for other states, so it probably didn't bother him. Now, Bush's alleged drug usage is less clear. When asked about illegal past illicit drug use, Bush has consistently refused to answer. He defended his refusal to answer in a public, casual conversation with a friend, saying that he feared setting a bad example for the younger generation. In 1994, George Bush ran for governor of Texas. His brother, Jeb, was simultaneously running for governor of Florida. The popular Democratic governor of Texas, Ann Richards, was running for re-election, and Bush was her opponent. An internet article states, according to the Atlantic Monthly, the race featured a rumor that Governor Ann Richards was a lesbian, when a regional chairman of the Bush campaign allowed himself to be quoted criticizing Governor Richards for appointing avowed homosexual activists to state jobs. So they were just slandering people. Okay, Bush won the general election with 53.5% against Richards' 45.9%. In his second term, Bush promoted faith-based organizations and enjoyed high approval ratings. He proclaimed June 10, 2000 to be Jesus' Day in Texas, the day on which he urged all Texans to answer the call to serve those in need. Okay. Al Gore won the presidential election of 2000, but corruption and deception returned fundamentalists to power, and George Bush took office in 2001. 8 months into Bush's first term, terrorists attacked New York on 9/11/2001. President Bush declared a war on terror, and U.S. forces became entrenched in wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Now, Hurricane Katrina and the Asian tsunami of 2005 were related, interconnected events that are also interconnected with global warming, melting of glaciers, land rising off the coast of China, etc. The entire Earth is interconnected, every single atom. The shape of the Earth is changing and expanding. Changes start in the nuclear core of the Earth and expand outward. These changes are cyclical, predictable, and traceable by studying God's creation of Earth history. Hurricane Katrina devastated much of the north-central Gulf Coast, particularly New Orleans. The Bush administration was slow and inadequate in their response and received worldwide criticism. Now, the U.S. lost more jobs in 2006. Oil prices soared, prices rose, and in September 2008, the U.S. economy collapsed into the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. Now, to what point is this entity or chain of administrators driving the ship or state of the nation? Here they are, Reagan, Nixon, Romney, and I believe that's, what's his name, Percy, and there's Bush. Okay, now all energies return to their core of origin at cycle closing. It's the law of nature. Hence, this entity is recreating the Confederate States, or the agricultural colonies that were founded by English Stuart royalties. The South will rise again. All energies return to their cores of origin. The Old South was under English Stuart rule, and the English Stuart dynasty had Roman Catholic origins, and Roman Catholicism was created by German Aryan Jewish traders of Rome, Persia, Antioch and Ephesus, Turkey, and Berber traders of Alexandria, Egypt, and Carthage, Africa. Now, Aryans are ultimately governed by the strongest military power. Jews are ultimately governed by the wealthiest power. None of these will I recognize as a governor, a ruler of my soul and being. Stay tuned. I don't know what to bet it is. Scientific aspects of creation. Coming.